Hey everyone, what's going on? What's going on? Let me fix my camera a little bit here, get my good side and everything. It's good to see you all. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are doing well. So today we're gonna talk more bullish uranium news, and we're gonna talk the NVIDIA pop and drop. We'll get to it right after this intro. Boom.
Think. Act. And prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Everyone, welcome to the Money Level Show. If this is your first time here, we think, act, and prosper. This channel focuses on changing financial trajectories and building legacies as long as you put the concepts in action, right? The things that you learn, you got to think, act, and then you will prosper, So think critically about what you're learning. Obviously, anything on this channel is not financial advice. However, you can act upon it and you can prosper. So I know I could say that the things that I've learned over the time being in this space, I've actually prospered and have done pretty good. And so I'm looking forward to just more growth and everything. And so be sure to stick it out. It takes discipline when it comes to finance and investing. You have to do all type of stuff to be disciplined. So let's see, we got 4 viewers in right now. Who's in here? Hey, what's good, my brother? Good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. I didn't even know you could click the comment. I didn't even know that. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. So today we're going to get into some of the what's happening in the markets, right? So NVIDIA, obviously one of the magnificent 7 stocks that just keeps going up. It keeps going up. It doesn't matter what happens or what macroeconomic factors are pushing up against it. Like, it just keeps going up. It's like it never stops. And so we're going to look at NVIDIA right now. I actually thought about playing a call option on this. This is funny, but I'm also glad I didn't. Hey, I could teach you some things, but I'm definitely not an expert, but I could teach you some things. All right, so this is NVIDIA. All right, so NVIDIA, they beat earnings. There was all this bullish news that came out. This is the 5-week chart, so you can see just it popped up from where was it at, 471, and then just this whole week it's been going up. I think it was at 418 earlier last week, and then now it's at 468, but it popped up to 494. Then now it's taking a cool off, which it needed a cool off. It was too much optimism, too much bullishness in the stock. Good thing I did not play a call option on this, because if I did not sell in the morning, say I thought the stock was going to run the rest of the day, I would have been down quite a bit. It's at 468 right now. So this could change. Obviously, markets change day to day, but it jumped up $23, and then now it's back down $23. So it erased all the gains from the day. So good thing I was not in that. And but yeah, there was so much news coming out about it. NVIDIA earnings, they're crushing the market, is it cornering the market? So this is how mainstream financial media reels you into some of these companies, and you can also lose money, so look at this. They're saying what supply problems, they're saying all this bullish stuff, right? And you're looking at AI investments, all these things. Like, these people are, pumping this stuff to you. And if you would have jumped in right here and, saw that big spike and thought that it was going to go higher, you would have lost all the money that you have invested into it. So be sure to, hey, what's up, Avery? Avery Turner Jr. Hey, that's my guy on Twitter, Avery Turner. That's my guy. That's my guy. I appreciate him. He's always spreading knowledge and trying to help people grow financially. Appreciate you, Kendra, for dropping in. So yeah, so NVIDIA, obviously, this is a company that is in this, yeah, I would not buy it. I would not touch it. That's what mainstream media, they push that stuff to you so that you get in, right? And I've talked to Mark Yusko about how all the retirement funds and all this big money, they go into the top stocks. They're required to go into the top stocks. And so that's why they keep pushing up when most of the rest of the market is down, So like the only things that are holding up the S&P 500 are the top, stocks, the Netflixes, the Teslas, the NVIDIA, but everything else is really down. So here we go. These are, obviously some of the macro factors. This is the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, their total assets. So as you can see, the Fed is continuously, it's called quantitative tightening. I mean, their balance sheet just ballooned since the global financial crisis. As you can see here, it's crazy. Then the pandemic hit and boom, like it's just like two huge stairs that was horribly poured concrete. But the Fed is reducing their balance sheet, which this is called quantitative tightening, where they are selling debt bonds off of their balance sheet. So they buy bonds on their balance sheet to finance government debt, corporate debt and such. And then they said that since inflation was hot and they had to fight inflation, they started hiking interest rates, and they have been selling assets off their balance sheet. And this here was when the banking crisis happened. They started loaning out money again by buying bonds again, trying to pretty much support the banks. And then now they've continued their course of reducing their balance sheet. It doesn't look like much at all, but nonetheless, that is a bearish factor for markets. We can even go back to, they're doing this in 2018. Here we go. They're reducing the balance sheet. The markets took a big haircut at this point when they were reducing the balance sheet. And so they're doing the same thing now, right? So we got to look at those different macro factors because they definitely play a role. And so we're going to go ahead and jump over to some hey, what's up, John? Hey, appreciate you for joining us today, fam. John, I wish you had a picture up there. You got a picture of the moon and everything. The moon is beautiful, but hey, it is what it is. Some people don't want to show their face online in these crazy times, And what's up, Neophyte? What's happening? What is your picture? I've been wondering what that is. It's like the Incan pyramids with a libertad. I see you. You're stacking. Okay, I see you. So appreciate you for joining. We're going to jump over to some uranium news right now. I have not read these articles yet, but we're going to read them together. This is from Uranium or something. So this was actually yesterday. It says global uranium demand boosts raises questions for supply security. Now, remember, economics, you have supply and demand. Whenever there is not enough supply and there's a huge amount of demand, the price has to go up, right? So that's just basic economics right there. You have more people fighting for fewer goods. The price goes up, right? So that's pretty much basic economics. So supply security, so that the demand is growing. Uranium currently supplies 10% of the global energy, and I think it's about 20% in the United States. So, but there's supply issues. So let's get into it. The war in Ukraine and talks of energy independence are pushing superpowers to turn to nuclear, driving uranium prices up again after a 10-year slump, and raising concerns that supply shortages are not to be ruled out in the long run. Global supply of uranium, a mineral critical to nuclear energy, is coming back into the media spotlight following July's coup in Niger, the world's sixth largest producer. French nuclear mogul Urano, which exploits one mine in Niger, asserted the political situation in the Sahel did not threaten uranium supplies in France, my bad, y'all, in the EU, confirming they have 20-year resources and reserves through 4 continent-wide production and growth projects. Experts also agree that there is no short-term uranium problem until very recently. All right. The mineral was overabundant and accessible at low prices. And so I think that they're talking about the secondary market for uranium, which was all the uranium that was mined and such back in like the 70s and 80s. And they also had like this uranium from like, I think it was some of the weapons. I think it was nuclear bombs or something like that, that they had a bunch of oversupply. And so like pretty much they've been relying on that oversupply for a while. And now that supply is showing that it has decreased significantly because the uranium price is staying pretty elevated, which we'll get to the uranium price here in a minute. But so let's see, it says, but all also flagged the demand is going up in new unprecedented ways as large superpowers turn to nuclear to ramp up energy independence, and the Fukushima scare is over. Could the world be headed towards a uranium shortage? If the world heads towards a uranium shortage, I am going to benefit quite a bit, right? Because that means the price is going up. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you for coming in today. So I'm gonna definitely benefit from uranium. So let's see the 10-year price slump. It talks about pretty much after the Fukushima 2011 incident, demand for natural uranium fell drastically as governments divested in nuclear energy, and this was detrimental in a way because now governments are seeing climate change and they're saying like, hey, we need to address this issue. We need a clean form of energy. And so now they're rushing back towards nuclear. After steady price increase in the mid 2000s, reaching an exceptional one-off 140-pound peak in the summer of 2007, uranium prices plateaued in the $50 a pound range, increasing slightly to $70 a pound in early 2011 before slumping to $25 a pound on average following Fukushima. But not anymore. The demand is on the up again. The price of uranium doubled in 2 years, a nuclear geopolitics expert told that TV, topping $56 a pound in mid-August 2023. This marks a market anticipation of uranium demand growth in the next years. The Fukushima scare is over. People are moving past it, right? China doubling down on nuclear. China's, I think, 55 reactors or something like that, and implementing the world's largest program, having opened 21 reactors between 2017 and 2022. China's actually, I think, going for 55 by I forgot what year, but they are leading the way in building nuclear reactors. France, a historically pro-nuclear actor, also marked its intention to build 6 new generation EPR2 reactors by 2050. Now I'm gonna have to bookmark this because I want to know what is a ERP2 reactor, EPR2 reactor. So I'm gonna bookmark that for later. At the EU level, general interest is also expected to increase, not only to have some member states, for example, Poland, announce investments in nuclear, but the Commission's Net Zero Industry Act, a wide-ranging piece of legislation destined to decarbonize the European Union. So if you don't know what the EU is, the European Union's industry recognizes small modular reactors as a technology that could contribute to decarbonization. I just read a whole little article on small modular reactors, which we can get into that too at some point tonight, just so that you all are in the know as well as myself. Yep. So we'll bookmark that. Just gonna be a uranium time. Let's just get a uranium time. Let's just do it. All right. The number of planned reactors is also increasing and fast. About 100 power reactors with a total of gross capacity of 100 thousand megawatt electrical are on order or planned, and over 300 or more are proposed. The World Nuclear Association found in May 2023, atop the 440 already in activity. Um, as for the older generation, they have seen their lifetimes extended from 40 to 60 years approximately. By 2040, 123 reactors are expected to close and 308 to open. So that means the technology is getting better, right? So they're closing the old ones and opening the new, right? Out with the old, open with the new. Yes, indeed, I agree. My boy Rob, he knows. He knows. He watches the charts. He watches it. He watches it. Yep. So definitely the supply demand fundamentals are just insane on this, Rob. So appreciate you tapping in. The supply crisis. We are waiting to see whether these announcements turn into real investments. But if they do, there's a risk they might stretch production resources as existing mines are depleting faster than new ones can become fully functional. Yes, because it takes years because of all the legislations and stuff to build these mines, right? I mean, even when COVID shut down, the world shut down because of COVID, the mines were pretty much closed. I mean, I think it was what Cigar Lake was closed for a while, and we still needed uranium, right? And so we depleted a lot of the secondary supply, and so now, yeah, as prices enter the 10-year trough, um, the market reoriented towards countries with the lowest production costs, such as Kazakhstan. That's where Kazatomprom is out of. Kazatomprom. If you don't know how to buy Kazatomprom, if you're interested, this is one of Rick's Rule's favorite companies, but you have to get on. I did a video on interactive brokers, how to get an interactive broker so that you can buy this on the London Stock Exchange. The world's number one producer, the nuclear geopolitics expert added, mines face higher production costs due to more stringent labor and environmental standards, such as in Canada, fell off buyers' radar. In the 2011 to 2021 period, mines the world over were put to sleep, right? Prospective work was halted, and mining companies' economies of scale dwindled as the demand for new nuclear reactors dropped. Major producing countries such as Canada and Kazakhstan limited total production in recent years in response to a depressed uranium market, right? They were keeping the price was at what, $25 a pound, and it cost like what, $50 a pound to produce. And so these companies, they were losing money, right? And so this is the International Atomic Energy Agency. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I got it right. I'm gonna bookmark that tab too. In the World Nuclear Association's 2022 fuel report also highlights that the four largest uranium producers have had reduced production output in 2016 to 2020. Mine shutdowns and production suspensions, as well as reduced production levels, have resulted in sharp decrease in global capacity utilization factor, it states. But now the increased market price has unlocked investment potential for mines that were historically too costly to exploit, such as those in Canada. So more money is looking at coming into the uranium space. Ultimately, a supply crisis is a long-term specter, something that could perhaps happen far down in the future. I mean, right now, the world consumes about 200 million pounds of uranium a year, and I think we're only producing about 155. So those are the last numbers I had. That could crystallize if many more nations turn to nuclear to most effectively decarbonize their electricity production and rely on it in the global rise of electric vehicles. And I've already showed you all the Advance Act that the United States put in place, pretty much to, update the power grids and stuff and wanting to use nuclear. It's a question we would have never asked ourselves 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, politicians aren't the brightest bulbs. I can see why they didn't think about that, right? that's just what I that's what I think. So here we go. Some other news here. World nuclear news. UK funding to ensure Ukrainian nuclear fuel supplies. Where's this article at? I just had it up. Yep, here it is. Iran breaks ground for new uranium mine. This is about 9 days ago. So this is their ceremony. Let's see. Mohammed El-Sami, head of Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, said detailed exploration for uranium and rare earth elements began in the Jang-Isar in Iran's west. I'm not even going to try to say that province last year, and is still ongoing. The mining complex will be a hub for the supply of raw materials for nuclear fuel and will play a significant role in supporting Iran's plans for 20,000 megawatt electricity of nuclear capacity. So they carried out geological mapping, prepared a detailed phase report, and used airborne geophysical technology to identify and investigate uranium materialization and other elements in the area. The organization said that it has estimated and evaluated the tonnage of grade of materials, but it did not provide resource figures. The construction schedule is expected to take 30 minutes to complete and will proceed alongside operation, construction, and development of studies, especially for the process of other elements with radioactive materials. So, as you can see, they broke ground for the mine. It takes 30 months to complete the mine, right? And we need nuclear right now, right? We're already in a supply deficit. This is 2.5 years, so that just goes to show, like, you can't just, it doesn't just snap your finger and these resources appear. You have to go, get the licensing, get through all these government policies and stuff, politics and everything. And it takes a lot of capital too. I mean, it says the first phase of the project at Jang-Isar will require an investment of around, around $240 million US dollars, right? 240 million. This is for the first phase of the project. So this stuff takes a lot of money. There's going to have to be a lot of investment in this space in order to really bring a lot more supply online. I'll tell you that right now. So this is looking a lot more bullish. I see people dropping off. I mean, y'all ain't peeping the game. I'm trying to give you the opportunity right here. So if you're still here, drop a comment. So we're going to go ahead and go over to this is a cool little article I found just to kind of give you all some more information. The International Atomic Energy Agency, they have some very valuable information on there. I've been reading them. I'm gonna do some videos on some of them, but they're talking about the small modular reactors. So as you can see, these are the large conventional. These are the small. These go 700 plus megawatts. These are 300 megawatts. And then these are the micro reactors. As you can see, I mean, here, the micro reactors, I don't know. This is like this is like a city, right? It's like probably a small neighborhood or something. So the small modular reactors can power that. And then I don't know what they powering over here. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so those are the small reactors. I mean, look at the size of it, right? This is the size of it. It's less smaller than a semi truck. So yeah, those are that. So small modular reactors are advanced nuclear reactors that have power capacity of up to 300 megawatts electricity per unit, which is about 1/3 of generating capacity of a traditional nuclear power reactors. SMRs, which can produce large amounts of low carbon electricity, are small, physically a fraction of the size of conventional nuclear reactors. Modular, making it possible for systems and components to be factory assembled and transported as a unit to a location for installation. So pretty much you can't take these huge you can't take these huge things down and assemble them. Like these can actually be assembled, so they can drive a truck, come and assemble them on a piece of property. And the reactors harnessing nuclear fission to generate heat to produce energy. So the advantages of them are many benefits of SMRs are inherently linked to the nature of their design, small and modular. Given their smaller footprint, SMRs can be sited on locations not suitable for larger nuclear power plants. Prefabricated units of SMRs can be manufactured and then shipped and installed on site, making them more affordable to build than large power reactors, which are more often custom designed for a particular location, sometimes leading to construction delays. SMRs offer savings in cost and construction time, and they can be deployed incrementally. My bad, y'all. A lot of reading today. To match increasing energy demand. So small modular reactors, I encourage you all to check out this site. They have a lot of information on nuclear. We talk about it quite a bit. And, this is a good opportunity for you to be able to educate yourself even more. So I'm still bullish, very bullish on uranium. A lot of good news still coming out. And I think that, we're in for the investment of a lifetime. So I hope that you all are, thinking, acting, and prospering. I have this video I want to show you. Let me find it. Let me see if I can find it. No, this ain't it. It's not it. I had a video. It had a timeline for how long it takes to freaking set up a mine. I think this may be it right here. No, is that it? No. Nope. All right, let me see if I can find it real quick. It was a video that Robert Friedland shared during a rural symposium, and it showed how long it took for this copper mine to get into production. And because he talks about how we're trying to move towards clean energy, which is going to take electrification and everything. And so, so it took like freaking 20, I think they bought the land in 96 or something. It took like 26 years for them to get the mine up and running. And we're talking about decarbonizing by, they talk about decarbonizing, by 2040, something like that. Man, they're gonna need a lot of mines. Neophyte. One thing that I dislike about mining companies, they all sound like Christopher Columbus. Yeah, kind of. I would say that my rebuttal to that, I would say yes, in a way. They sound like it. But like when you get into the weeds, so for example, it's like if we look at tectonic metals, let's go look at tectonic. They're trying to humanize more of the space, you know what I mean? So like so let's see. What the heck? Oh, here we go. Share screen. Doom. 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 So you look at tectonic metals, which my friend Tony, he's the CEO of the company. Um, so when you look at their statements, like obviously, I mean, you have to verify like people's how they conduct themselves. Like you can easily put words in or whatnot, but they got actions against like racism on here. Many of these companies actually go to the indigenous tribes, and they actually do some groundwork with them. It's called I think it's called tribal relations, and they actually have to do some groundwork with them before they can even start to even mine. And so and oftentimes they do provide tribal members with a lot of jobs and such, where they can make a good living wage and such. And so and it's all about, I think a piece of this is, it's all about how do we make energy, more affordable for everyone. How do we even get clean energy, right? Because we have to get clean energy. We've been burning coal and and oil, so we need clean energy as well. So that's kind of my take on it. I mean, because even when you look at this, so let's look at this right here. How many people in the world without electricity? You still got 770 million people without access to any electricity, and this is the International Energy Agency. So there's still a lot of people that are offline. Um, so there's going to have to be some more mining to get these materials, to get other people where they can have access to have heated homes and have you know um, temperatures where they can change their clothes and everything, and be able to access energy, because energy is what pretty much drives the world. I mean, we went from burning wood to like, now we're able to power. I'm able to have this light on and that light on and sleep with lights on, but there's still a lot of people without, you know, um, access to energy. And so, as we can see, it says in the sub-Saharan Africa, a number of people without access to energy, without access, increased in 2020 for the first time um, since 2013. So they actually increased the number of people without access, increased. So it rose to 77% from 74%. So there has to be mining in order for um, people to get energy. That's just the reality. So like, let's see, I'm trying to see what is this anyway. I thought this was showing like how many people. Okay. All right. So this shows the percentage of with energy. So here, we obviously have a lot of energy, but when you get to these nations here, they're close to the 0% range over here. I mean, even here, like this is like inadequate, amounts of energy. I mean, a friend of mine, he done a lot of trips to Africa, and he talked about how in one place he was at, they had to share the energy. So the government, I think they had about 4 weeks of energy a month, and each village were supposed to get a week each month. So then the government came in and they took 3 weeks of the energy, and they left 1 week for the 4 different villages to share. So they got energy for that week for every 4 months, so like, which was crazy, so I was like, what, but yeah, we have to get more people online. So that's the humanitarian aspect of this, and we have to do it in a clean way, right? We need copper, um, we need uranium, nuclear, to do it in a clean way. Let's see, most interviews, or nearly all of them, sound like sales pitches. Guys, we found all this gold, etc., but we need some funding. Come on now, we about to be rich. It kind of took care of a few men. yeah, so I would say there's definitely like people that sound like sales pitches, but there's a big humanitarian movement behind energy. I mean, right now, what's happening, with the BRICS and all of them, like, I mean, China's building a lot of nuclear reactors, and India is as well, as well as Russia. Um, but they all know that they have, many people that don't have enough energy, so they're like, hey, we need more energy. I mean, people don't have the same access to lights like we do. Like, I mean, even when I did the interview with Doomberg, like he was like, think of how much energy the Super Bowl takes. Like all the flights, the gas from the flights, to the training camps, to the games, you know. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Max? Good to see you. To the games, to like even just preparing for the Super Bowl, like just how much electricity. I mean, that could probably power like a small town. So like we have an abundance of it, and many people don't. Um, and so, I mean, currently it's kind of interesting because we import a lot of the materials for energy. We don't produce a lot ourselves, but yeah, there's still a lot of other people. I mean, even like Robert Freeland talked about this here. Let's look at this. He said the 35 years he's known Rick Rule, the population of the world increased by 2.3 billion. Um, that's a lot of people in 35 years. Population of world chart. This is the world meter. Let's see. See if this is a good one. Where does it go to? And that's kind of an older chart. Let's see. I think this is a good one. Okay, share the chart. So this is the current world population. I mean, we increased by 86 million births this year, 39 million deaths this year, population growth this year, 47 million. I'm trying to find the chart. Here's the chart at. I mean, you can see, obviously India and China, they have 3 billion people there. They're trying to bring energy on for, which is like a good percentage of the world's population. But you can look at as energy became more abundant, the population of humanity just exploded. So either they're gonna have, that's the 20. So we're actually right here. So they're expecting like over 10 billion by the end of this century. Yep, 2030. Yep. So the population continues to grow. So that's going to require more energy. And I don't know what this looks like, what my grandkids are going to have to navigate, but at some point I don't know if they're going to enter caps on like how many kids you can have, like they used to do in some countries. But like, yeah, this is insane growth. And so it's going to take a lot more energy to bring all these people online. So that's one thing we have to factor for, unless we willing to go back to riding horses and stagecoaches and stuff. I mean, for real, if we willing to go back to horses, stagecoaches, and burning wood, no internet, right? Even Robert Freeland talks about how the internet, people think the internet is clean, but it's not. Like he talks about how you Google search something, you're getting all these ads. The people that pay for the ads are the ones that fund the energy used when you do a Google search. Like, the searches I just did there, that costs energy. That's energy. That costs money. How so? I mean, look at it. You look at like there's a server somewhere, right? A server is somewhere waiting, to be used, right? It's plugged up somewhere. I mean, even the cloud, they have servers that are plugged into walls, right? Huge warehouses full of servers, right? So, even just doing a Google search, us being on here, this is energy being used, so like unless we're willing to like sacrifice um our pleasures of being on Facebook, um being on, I mean, our phones use batteries that has to be mined, right? It has materials that has to be mined. um our Netflix series, our favorite movies, turn on the lights in the middle of the night, opening our fridges, our refrigerators, to use the refrigerator light and to keep the food cool, and use the oven to warm the food up, or take hot showers. Like all of this stuff takes energy. And unless we're willing to like sacrifice that, go back to stagecoaches, the Pony Express, um, using uh, growing our own food, right? Because now we got semi trucks, right, that use diesel, and planes that ship stuff. I mean, freaking Amazon using planes, and UPS has planes. You know what I'm saying, that deliver your packages. And whenever you stack silver or gold, like, there's energy is life. Energy is life, and unless we're willing to take a huge reduction in it, I mean, I just don't see it, going anywhere. And we're gonna have to, mine more. That's kind of just the way I see it. Sorry, I went in on. Sorry, I went in on that neophyte, but yeah, like, hey, that's real though. And so, like Thomas Sowell, I really like Thomas Sowell. He's, some people don't like him, but he states the facts. He's like, hey, governments always make these promises, but there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. So we have to assess the trade-offs, right? Say we don't, go more into the earth or whatever. Everybody's gonna have to agree to, in the cold winter months, bundling up your kids, right? Going out farming your own stuff, right? I mean, you think about it's something called ROE. It's called return on energy. So you think about it. Farmers used to have to go out and do sweat labor, you know, to cultivate the ground, and to plant seeds and to grow and everything. To sweat labor every day, physical labor, hard labor. Now you have tractors. Tractors are doing a lot of the work for the farmers. So instead of feeding one person at a time, tractors can feed, you know, 30, 40, 50 thousands of people at a time. So unless we're willing to go back to that, I mean, but now it's, we need energy, we need it. So there's a big humanitarian case for energy. And I mean, even people that advocate for coal and oil, like they have a big humanitarian case too. So like I try to avoid a lot of the mass media, mainstream noise on it, because they only give you like one side of it. They don't look under the hood and see like, okay, what are all these pieces needed to make this puzzle fit? Like, let's look up the decarbonization goals for countries, right? Goals for countries. All right, let's see where we at. It's called the Race to Net Zero. Let's go over here and share this. The Race to Net Zero. All right. Robert Friedland actually talked about. So if you don't know who Robert Friedland is, he's a billionaire. He owns Ivanhoe Mines and Ivanhoe Electric. But 137 countries have committed to carbon neutrality as tracked by the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit and confirmed by pledges to the Carbon Neutrality Coalition and recent policy statements by governments. So, pretty much Robert said, like, the way where global warming is, there's no way we're going to get to like 1%, which a lot of nations are, trying to aim for that, but they're not looking at the equation. They're looking at the end of the equation without looking at like, okay, what plus what equals the equation, right? They're just looking at the end result. And so, you have these decarbonization goals. Obviously some of these are smaller nations, right? But Finland 2035, 2045, 20 years. So, if they want to reach these targets, some of these have laws, right? These are laws that require them to reach these targets in the UK, Sweden, New Zealand, right? So they have to invest in energy. They have to invest in mining. They have to invest in getting more materials and such. And so that's why I'm so bullish on this commodities bull market, because this stuff isn't going to appear out of midair. They can't just do a magic trick and then the freaking stuff just appears out of the ground. Like, they have to actually send workers out there with tractors and drilling and exploration. They got to do panning. They got to send geologists out there to test the soil. They have so many things they have to do, and they have to pass laws to make it make it more easier for mines to get approved and such. Like, that takes time. And so they have all these ambitious goals, but like, they can't do it without the resources. So that's why, I'm so bullish on the resources. So yeah. Who's still on? Drop a comment if you're still on. Drop a comment, drop a comment, drop a comment. I need to pull up my Facebook and see where y'all at. See where y'all at. Where my Facebook peeps at. If you haven't liked my Facebook yet, go check out the Money Level Show on Facebook. And then also, if you haven't checked out my recent interview with Neil Howe, be sure to go check that out. Neil Howe wrote The Fourth Turning, and we talked about a lot of things in regards to, I put up part one. Part one talks about the political mistrust as well as government deficits and debt, and how does this end in the fourth turning. So Neil Howe co-authored the book Generations and the Fourth Turning. And in these books, they study American history, and they saw consistent cycles throughout generations where there's four turnings, and then the fourth one always ends into a crisis. If I ask the question, how many operating mines are in the U.S. compared to outside of it? That's a good question. I know Ivanhoe Mines, they just got something approved in Arizona for, I think, copper. There's a few out here. There's a few, but the fact still remains that we import most of the materials that we use. Which is interesting. Like, I think it was some material with I think I was talking to Neil Howe about this. He was saying how we said we wouldn't sell some certain parts to China, but then China's like, well, we're not going to sell you the materials to even make the parts. Right. And so it's just, they just got it all backwards, right? Politicians got it all backwards. I do believe we should have some form of order, and such, but we got some people that aren't thinking, that aren't emotionally intelligent, that aren't intelligent. They need a higher IQ and need to be able to do research. So like, I'm hoping, which I heard there are some people in the Biden administration that are actually really good, that are educating him on like what we need to really get these resources and stuff that we need. So hopefully, with the acts passed and everything, that, it'll get easier for mines to get started. But I know Ivanhoe Electric, they have a project in Arizona that they got approved for. Let's see. Is it this? This is it right here, I think. Let me see. Yep, here it is. Boom. Let's go ahead and share screen. Ivanhoe Electric is a company that I do invest in, just FYI, and this is not investment advice. So this is their project in Phoenix. So Santa Cruz. And Ivanhoe Electric focuses on copper deposits and pretty much metals for electricity. So the metal they're looking to mine is copper. And yep, so this is a company that I invest in. Santa Cruz, located in Arizona, a prolific mining state where over 35 million tons of copper have been produced since 1980. 65% of total U.S. production. Indicated mineral resources at the Santa Cruz project total 226 million tons, grading 1.24% total copper, 2.8 million tons of contained copper, and inferred resources total 149 million tons, grading copper. Okay. Deployment of Typhoon exploration surge technology to help identify new mineralized targets, allowing Ivanhoe Electric to more efficiently explore with targeted diamond drilling. And so option to utilize VRB technology and integrate with renewable energy power sources like solar, and to develop a modern, low footprint, sustainable copper producing industrial complex. So like these miners, I mean, they're actually getting up on it, right? I mean, they're saying like, hey, how can we make this more, reduce the carbon footprint? So that's one place. Another one I would say, let's see, I met this guy at the Rural Symposium. I think it's Ridgeline Metals. Minerals. I got to get this guy on the channel, y'all. I got to get him on the channel. We talked and everything. Cool guy. Started this business out of his basement. So, just really, living that dream. So they're actually in Nevada. So they have a gold mines. Let's see, Ridgeline Minerals executes exploration earn-in agreement with Nevada Gold Mines at the Carlin East Gold Project. And then they have Ridgeline Metals intersect with high-grade zone of 6.1 of 480 GT silver. He showed me this stuff and I forgot. I got to look at it again, but he showed me like the purity of silver and everything. Like he had the actual brick of rock with him. How much lead is in it? 12%, 6.4% zinc, and then 0.1 gram. I think it's grams per ton. No, not grams per ton. That can't be right. Maybe. That's the Salina gold mine, Salina project, Nevada. So this is they actually have a cool he said he'll come on and show me like the virtual presentation and stuff. So this is one project, right? So yeah, there are some mines, in the United States, but there's definitely a lot of restrictions that keep these mines from coming online. So yeah, definitely. I mean, some other companies that were at Rick Rules, like there's some good companies in Canada. Damn, I'm spelling that wrong, man. It's been a long day, y'all. I'm spelling it wrong again, y'all. Dang. All right, here we go. So yeah, this this project, they work with a lot of different metals. They have like gold, rare earths, everything. This is Dr. John Mark Stouty. I did a video with him on my channel. He does some. I think he was a geologist at some point. Um, Company highlights debt free, strong cash position, and no warrants. So they do actual royalties and I think streaming royalties. I think they do mostly royalties. Highly experienced exploration team with history of discoveries, advancing multiple projects simultaneously, extensive gold, silver, and copper project portfolio in mining friendly jurisdictions. So mining friendly, that means, you got to be in a jurisdiction where the government's going to treat you nice. Otherwise, you got to take your business elsewhere. And then 75,000 plus project location database. Um, so yeah, I got some more research to do, to be honest. There's a lot of information on these sites where you can really dive into these rabbit holes of like, okay, what's happening in the Mexico project? Okay, here we go. Let's go to the Mexico project. See what's happening here. You got the deposit types. They're doing silver and gold, Sonora, Mexico. They're showing you where they're mining at. They're right here, close to Arizona or something. So, yeah, and this is some stuff that I will have to look at because I'm actually a shareholder of them. I've learned some things about them, but there's a lot of stuff, right? Look at this. You got multiple projects, that they're working on. So it's a lot of information to obtain. So I hope y'all doing well. I got to get going. I got to get to the fam, make sure they are right and everything. I appreciate you all for joining me today and everything. Yeah. So uranium, I'm bullish on. Uranium's it just gets more and more bullish by the day. So if you bullish on uranium, be sure to hit this like button. Hit the subscribe if you ain't subscribed. I got to actually show y'all this. So if you ain't subscribed to me, I'm going to show you this, all right? Y'all going to see this. I think y'all should see this. Audience. All right. I think this is it. Here we go. If you ain't subscribed to me, you should be. Let me tell you why. I put out a lot of free content, and 90.5% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed. 10% that are subscribed do watch. So, 10% of my views come from subscribers. 90% comes from non-subscribers. So if you are not subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. All right. I'm putting out this free content for you all. I want to continue to make a lot of this free, but y'all got to show your boy some love. You gotta show appreciation and such for what people are doing, especially if they're providing value. So I just wanted to share that. All right, y'all take care. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.